Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here. Now, for today, what can I say? We're finishing up an epic Monday and an epic start of the week because we are chatting with the incredible, amazing, the badass, the superstar, the one and only, the legendary Jared. How are you today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. What better way to finish up an epic Monday and, as I was saying before, and to start an epic week than to be chatting with someone as badass as you. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're too kind. Thanks, man. I agree. It's good day for it, though, for sure.
There you go. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. Helps a lot. But also, the description below, you're going to find all of Jared's social media. Let's follow him and let's discover why he is super badass Now, without further more, let's jump in. So I want to start this whole epic conversation by throwing out the first question, which is, what inspired you to focus on performing rather than recording or producing?
That could be a long story and it could be a short story. Do you want the long answer or the short answer?
Go for it, as you wish.
All right. Well, I started playing when I'll start at the beginning where it kind of started for me with music. I grew up very traditionally in a Mennonite household up north near the Crete most of my life, and there wasn't much to do. It's very conservative, so I wasn't allowed to play most sports, and it was very isolated. We lived very far pretty much out of cell service, and it was just I didn't have much except my family and my animals around, and we lived on a farm. So I kind of got into music because I wasn't like I was in love with music or anything. It's just that it was something I was able to do and that my parents would let me do. So I kind of started playing for that reason. Always had a slight interest in it, but finally started playing when I was like 11 or so, I'd say. And then, played for a few years. Me and my brother, we were both into bluegrass music since we weren't allowed to play anything with drums. So bluegrass music was the most modern type of music we were allowed to play. So played bluegrass. Starting out, I played banjo, mandolin, guitar, so whatever I could kind of get my hands on, and played for a bit there. It was a big interest of mine growing up, and then kind of faded away when I discovered rodeo. I really wanted to start rodeoing and always thought I was pretty athletic, so I decided I wanted to get into the rodeoing side of things instead, and I kind of ditched music for a while there and really heavily rodeo till I was about 24, like a couple years ago. And then one time I decided to hit a music store when I was living near Grand Prairie, and then I was just jamming on a banjo, wasn't really thinking much of it. Then this guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, you're pretty good at that. Why don't you come play with my band?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's give that a shot." And ended up playing a few shows. So that's kind of when it kind of started coming to my head, like, maybe I can actually do this, like maybe I can actually make a go of playing music live. So I did a bit of that here and there, but I still mostly focused on rodeo. I was like 21, around there. Did that for a few years, and then 2 years ago I moved to Red Deer, and I kind of had in the back of my head that I wanted to give music another go, but I was also more focused on rodeoing at that point. So last year I played a little bit with a guy named Jeremy Dallas. Shout out to him. He gave me a chance. I was pretty new to the area, and I did rodeoing. I tried to do both that year, and I ended up breaking my back last year in July. So I was out of all of it. I wasn't able to play music. I wasn't able to rodeo. So it was a hard 6 months for me. And then I came back. I started being able to walk again and, stand for extended periods. And I was like, well, I can't ride right now, but let's try music again. Let's see if it'll happen for me this time. And I answered an ad on Facebook for this gig. Turned out to be a gig at Ranchman's in Calgary, which is usually a really fun place to play, and had been a bucket list thing for me to play there. So that I played that gig, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And next, I knew my friend Ashley Ghostkeeper had asked me to play with her at the CMAB Awards, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into at that point. I knew it was a big deal, but yeah, that scared me. That was the scariest minute and a half of my life, playing that show on that live broadcast at the CMABs with her. But yeah, I think that's kind of where it all started, was at the CMABs. I met a lot of people there, good people that asked me to play with them, and just the summer just really started rolling, and I started playing more and more, and pretty much, yeah, feel very blessed for the way the summer worked out and all the shows I was able to do. And so, yeah, music is my main thing right now. I'd say this is the first real year that I've kind of um, known that I want to do music, and that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. Because before it was always kind of, modeling, rodeo. Rodeo was really big for a long time, but I mean, you can only rodeo so long. So music's a better long-term plan for sure. So I might still get back into rodeo, we'll see. But for now, I'm really enjoying my musical journey and everything that comes with that. And it's been quite the ride for sure. So yeah, that was a little bit of a long version, but
Yeah, no, I mean that's badass. Now
no,
I start to discover why you're badass. Just saying, I get it. I got this feeling like, okay, I see where this is happening. But this is
mm,
really cool. So, okay, now in Calgary, there's this festival, right? This kind of festival with I mean, a few people that I've interviewed who live in Calgary have told me this festival, with horses and all of that, and I just keep forgetting the name.
Calgary Stampede.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah.
That's the one. So do you go like when like when you were doing roading here and there, were you doing it there or?
Yeah, actually in 2019 I rode at the Calgary Stampede, which was very exciting. That was a dream come true for sure. And to be able to play there this year, that was very exciting as well. And yeah, I feel very lucky that I've been able to do both at the Stampede. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that is
those two
pretty
paths
cool.
crossed.
That is, I
Cool.
mean, because that is like a very big thing in Calgary, right? Like a very
Yes.
big festival, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's international. I think they broke records for their attendance records this year. I'm not sure what it was, but I know it was well over 1 million for sure. Visitors there.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, over the 10 days, well over 1 million.
That is crazy.
It's a huge thing. It's international. People come from all over, so it's
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
a big deal.
that gets my attention a lot because, for example, where I'm from Mexico. So where I'm
Hmm.
from, I mean, in my city where I was born, and now in the city that I'm currently living in, I mean, there's not much knowledge of it. You know what I mean? Just in more in
Hmm.
the northern side, which is close to Texas and all of that. But every
Hmm.
now and then I'll be interested. I'll be interested, to kind of explore that like a little bit, just for the fun of it. I do think
Hmm.
that in life there are so many. I mean, I do think that our time here is to discover new things, have fun,
Hmm.
explore things like that. And I mean, having the chance to at some point to be in such a festival like that and to know what the fuzz is about, that
Hmm.
sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm all about. I don't really put a big stock into having lots of possessions. I'm more about experiences and living life to the fullest. Because yeah, we only get one life, and I don't want to reach the end of it and feel like I didn't take those chances that I was given. So.
Totally. Totally. And going back a little bit with your music performing side, like
Mhm.
how do you feel when you're performing live compared to other musicians who may focus more into the whole, studio work. I mean, we have seen it multiple times, that perhaps we
Mhm.
will see musicians that sometimes they will focus straight only in the production side
Mhm.
and not and live performing will try to avoid it every now and then. But on your case, like what do you what do you enjoy the most, let's say? Like how do you feel when you are, performing live?
Well, it's an adrenaline rush for sure. I don't think you can get quite the same rush in a studio, but yeah, I don't know. There's nothing like it. When there's 10,000 people out there and they're all singing the songs you're playing. It's that's a pretty awesome feeling. I don't think you can get that really anywhere else. It's be able to captivate people and kind of just get everybody into the same mood and the same spirit of enjoying music, and it's a pretty awesome feeling. And yeah, it's yeah, and to have people connect with those songs that you're playing. That's
Totally.
there's a lot of good stuff going on up there, and I don't know, I really get into it as well, and I love playing, and I love being in the moment and sharing it with the people out there. So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And now that you know that we're talking about emotions and everything, what has been the most powerful feeling or emotion you felt while performing?
um Most powerful emotion I felt while performing, probably thankfulness. Honestly, sometimes I just look out there and it's like, what is my life now? Like, how did this happen? I didn't expect it to happen. This is crazy. That's probably the biggest thing. I'm just really thankful for every opportunity I've been given, and be able to do that all in pretty much my first year. It's unbelievable. I'm really excited to keep trying to be better and working at what I do, and yeah, just hopefully just onwards and upwards.
There you go. And how do you prepare? You know, like what is your, do you have like a specific technique or perhaps ritual that sets your mind before jumping on stage?
Um, I do jump around a lot. Like, I'll jump and loosen up, and just get everything loose right up. I'll bend my fingers back and try to get them limbered up as well, and do some breathing, and just, I guess, amp myself up and get ready to put on a show.
I like it. That's
Usually,
yeah. And what are some of your, yeah, like what are some of your music inspirations? You know, like when you're about to perform, like what are some of the usual songs you play? Like what is your style, let's say?
well, I play a lot of country right now, and it usually is classic. That's usually what I get hired to do. It's Yeah, I would say there's a lot of Alan Jackson, George Strait, um, classic artists that we cover. Then the artists I play with, one of them, Tommy Charles, I think he's probably the one I play the most with going forward. He's very throwback. He's like a 50s, like Elvis. He does Elvis style. He does that era like very well, and his songs are amazing country songs as well. So it's it's really I think, yeah, older country is probably what I play the most of, I think. But I'll play anything, whatever you hire me to do, I'll play that. But definitely country is the main thing to play in Calgary, and that's the moneymaker. So
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I get it. I have interviews every now and then, few musicians who live in Calgary, and
mhm,
yeah, their main, I mean, they're country singers basically.
mhm,
So that kind of
yeah.
makes sense. Um, and tell me, do you ever improvise? I mean, have you ever improvised during a show that you were, you know what, screw it, and you went all in into something totally new, let's say?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. So a lot of the times it feels like you're flying by the seat of your pants. Like, let's say you get a drummer in there, um, you haven't played with him before, it's last minute switch around or something, then yeah, a lot of it is just flying by the seat of your pants. And I definitely have improvised bass stuff that I generally play bass. I'll just preface that by saying I usually play bass when I'm playing live. I am a utility player as well. I play banjo, steel guitar, acoustic guitar, mandolin, stuff like that. But usually it's bass because everybody needs a bass player. So,
Totally.
but yeah, I have thrown random stuff in there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the most fun part is when they just throw you and say, "Hey, do a bass solo." Just gotta wing it.
There you go.
Come up with something on the fly and hope it works out.
That's pretty cool. And do you feel your performances evolve depending on the energy of the crowd?
Yeah, the energy of the crowd is huge. Whether Yeah, I mean, usually you try to. That's a big part of my performance is trying to get the crowd into it if they aren't. But if they're already into it, man, that's such a huge feeling. It's just makes you want to do that much better and get that much more into it. It just we feed off each other. But if they're not as into it for whatever reason, then you got to do your best to get them into it. And yeah, I'm not really just one to stand there. I like to move around. I like to get into it as much as possible. So
Hmm.
that's that's big for me.
Totally. And how do you ensure that each performance feels fresh and unique for both you and the audience?
Hmm. Well, I don't think I've ever played two performances exactly the same way, if I'm being completely honest. There seems to be always something, no matter how much you try, no matter how much you practice, there's always something in there that 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 turns out a little bit differently than any other show, even if they're all the same songs. But yeah, usually I don't know. My goal is just to play the songs as best as possible, and if I add in something that I feel complements the song and it works out, that's that's big for me. But generally, I just try to play the songs as best to my ability as I possibly can, and if I do that, then that's a pretty good feeling. And I'll let the artist decide on whether we're throwing new songs in there or something. But yeah, so far I don't think I've ever played two performances exactly the same way. Just maybe just add a little bit of a different lick in there or in a song. Just if I'm feeling really comfortable. But if I'm not, then I generally just stick to the script. But yeah, generally they're all different somehow.
Yeah,
Just works out that way.
totally, totally. And have you ever thought at some point maybe to start creating your own songs? You know?
I've thought about it, but I'm not as strong a singer. I don't feel that way anyways. I never really sang that much growing up. I like singing and I do it when I can, but I also am waiting for surgery for my sinuses. Well, it's a condition I have called concha bullosa. So once I get that fixed, I feel like I'll be able to sing better and not sound like I'm singing with my nose plugged. So yeah, once I get that and I get some voice lessons, then I'll consider it. But for now, I'm having a lot of fun where I'm at, and
Totally.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's totally
something.
understandable. Totally. I mean, at
Mhm.
the end, it's a journey, and I think that,
Yeah.
I mean, I was speaking about that earlier today, the fact that you need to enjoy the journey,
Hmm.
if you are in this position
100%.
of music, enjoy it, have fun of it. And then later on, when you are like more prepared to it, then
Hmm.
take the jump. I mean, there is no need to rush. I think that is one of the problems that we still have as a society these days. The
Hmm.
fact that whenever we want to do something, we want to do everything quickly, quickly, quickly,
Hmm.
super fast. And we forget the part that it's gonna take time. It's a process, it's a journey. You need to enjoy it, but at the same time, it's within the journey that you are going to be able to learn new things, to discover more about yourself, or even perhaps to be like, you know what, this is not my thing. I might change. I might change path to another thing here and there. But
Hmm.
you need to take that journey, I think. And I mean, on your case, the fact that you are perhaps like at some point, but at this point you are enjoying it and having fun. I
Hmm.
mean, that's the ultimate goal, right? To have fun.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, that's all I'm about. I love the journey. My life has been a lot of ups and downs so far. Um, I've yeah, it's really taught me to just take every day, do the best you can with every day you have because no day is promised to you and all you have is today. So just do the best you can and take life as it comes and yeah, work towards your goals. And yeah, that might become a goal one day to become an artist of my own. But right now I'm really loving
Yeah,
playing
I
with other
mean,
people and all that.
totally.
It's been great.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe at some point we will be seeing you in the Grammys.
Yeah, well, that would be awesome for sure. I would love that.
You know what I mean? That is, yeah,
Yeah.
that's epic. And tell me, like, how do you handle those, let's say, bad days, when everything suddenly is going wrong? Like, how do you stay positive on a day like that, let's say?
Um, it's hard. Let's say my back's really bothering me or I don't feel like I'm playing the songs right. I'm just, absolutely feel like I'm just not in the zone. Well, no, I tell myself quite a bit that it's only me and the musicians on stage that can hear my mistakes if I feel like I'm screwing up a lot. Because normally people out there, they even me, if I'm out in the audience, I don't generally notice any mistakes. It's only when you have your in ears in that you can really clearly hear each other. So generally, that's what I tell myself. Is that just let it roll off your back, just keep moving forward. Let's just basically what's in the past in the past. Even if it only happened a few minutes ago, it's in the past. Nothing you can do about it. Just keep trucking, just keep going, moving forward, and keep trying to be better. And yeah, I make a lot of mistakes. I'm human, but I'm just keep moving on and keep trying to be that much better every day. Just be that little bit better every day. So
Totally, totally. I mean, at the end, every day above ground is a great day, right?
100%, I can totally agree with that. I'm very fortunate to be above ground, so every day is a blessing.
Totally, totally. And like in general, like what motivates you? You know, we all have those days. So what?
Mhm.
Yeah. So in your whole career, in your whole personal life, let's say, what keeps you going?
That's a good question. Hmm. I think the fear of failure is a big one for me. I really do not like failing, but in a positive aspect, what keeps me going in a positive, like a positive motivator for me, is on the bad days is a bad day playing music beats a good day working. So I don't know. I love playing, and even if I feel tired, it's still a lot better than going to a 9 to 5. So
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I
it's
feel that
yeah,
anyways.
totally. I mean, it's challenging. I mean, I do have a
Yeah.
nine to five,
Hmm.
and I mean, basically that goes to pay bills here and there,
Hmm.
and but I think when you have the idea where you want to go,
Yeah.
you might have a job like that. And I mean, and it's understandable to
Oh,
to
100%.
find like
Yeah.
a side hustle here so you can pay your rent and be like
Hmm.
and to yeah, kind of sustain yourself in order to when you have like your free time to just take advantage of on that time to work on your craft and maybe at some point who knows so
Yeah, for sure. I still work like today. I work a few days a week doing landscaping and cement work. So yeah, I still do the 9 to 5, but the goal is to become a professional, like 100%, not just semi-pro. So
totally
that's kind of, I guess, what keeps me going is hopefully one day I can do this full time, and yeah,
yeah and
hopefully that day.
I mean, I'm super sure that at some point will come, but as I was saying before, I mean, it's all about the journey, it's all
Mhm.
about taking the time to it, learn,
Mhm.
be I mean, it's challenging for sure, and
Yeah.
it's tough, but I think that's the way, I I went into a moment in which I was like, you know what, maybe that's just the way it is, that I mean, things are difficult for sure, and especially when you are building them on your own,
Mhm.
and but at the same time, you need to, in order for you to achieve something great, something better, you need to have those moments to learn and to start from the bottom and, keep
Mhm.
escalating little by little
Yeah,
and,
100%.
things like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't experience the low side or the downside or the negative side, then you can't really appreciate the highs. That's what I tell myself as well. If you don't struggle, then you're not going to enjoy once you reach that point of success as much. So I think
totally,
struggling and experiencing hard things are important in life. So you appreciate the good more.
totally. And what do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions that people might have about performers? You know?
Hmm, that's a good question. Probably that we party a lot and that we pull a motley crew a lot. I don't know. I mean, we do. I do, and most of my musician friends, we do. Drink and have our nights. But as a general rule, most people I find that are a freelance musician or in a band, they take it very seriously, and they all the professionals they take it very seriously. And if they do drink or smoke weed, then they do it in a way that so it doesn't impact their performance. So most people I find are really serious about their performing, and they're not just wild partiers like maybe like rock scene back in the 80s or whatever like that, like people imagine. But yeah, no, I'm not a party animal, so I can be, but generally not.
There you go. There you go. Okay. And my last question, so we can all relax. And yeah, after a cool chat here and there. So here it is.
Mhm.
What do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
Best title of this episode. Random thoughts. I don't know.
Random thoughts.
I'm not very good at coming up with things on the spot, but it feels like we're just, kind of picking little things here and there to chat about, and it's been it's been great. I really enjoy these little snippets of wisdom
Yeah.
from you.
Random
Yeah.
thoughts. I like it. Random thoughts. That's a cool title. I see it. Yeah. And I mean, at the end, what can I say, man? I mean, the fact that you're pursuing it, that you're making happen, that you are having fun of it. I mean, I think that's the ultimate goal. I mean, I think that is incredible. I'm super sure that our next conversation might be about the multiple places you have played here and there, or even creating your own songs. Who knows? But in the meantime, you are doing you're doing what makes you happy, and you're achieving it. And I think that is super awesome, and that's badass. Because I mean, we all know that pursuing something that makes you happy tends to be a little bit challenging here and there, and a lot of people would quit. But in your case, you keep going and you're making it happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, thank you. I really appreciate that, and yeah, that means a lot. I definitely plan on pursuing music and see where the road takes me. There's a lot of different avenues I could go, but I'm sure I'll find the best one. It's just a matter of time.
I love it. And again, I want to thank you so much, man, for making this happen. I also want to thank those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But also, in the description below, as I was saying, you're going to find all of Jared's social media. Let's follow him. And because we discover why he is super badass, let's make him viral. Hashtag Team Jared. And again, man, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep doing what you do. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Thank you. You as well.
All right.